Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nerd Locker Podcast, your entertainment podcast for everything movies, television, video games, and more. My name's Adam.
I'm Oliver.
And today we're going to go over some random stuff. We're going to do some cool stuff. This is going to be a real nice, cool episode, guys. We are going to be taking off around Thanksgiving, so there'll only be one episode coming out next week. And that will be Invincible Episode 4. So, yeah, because we have lives too. All right, so... let's go over some quick things that I've sent you, because I know I sent you a bunch. The first thing we're going to talk about is the fact that James Gunn has confirmed, and again, some of this is old news, some of this is newer news. James Gunn confirmed that we are still getting the same release date for Superman Legacy, which is July 11th, 2025.
2025, right?
Yeah. So with that in mind, that means that there was not a lot. That means he had everything figured the fuck out before the strikes. That means that James Gunn was like on it, which for me makes me feel better about the movie because like he was so confident. But the only thing that James Gunn doesn't have credit for is the fact that he said The Flash was the greatest superhero movie of all time, and I beg to differ.
That's upsetting.
I beg to differ.
But we don't know what part of that movie he liked the best.
The ending. Anyways, so going on to the next thing. Speaking of some rumors, another rumor is that Nightcrawler will appear in Deadpool 3 as a cameo.
I did see that.
With almost all the original Fox X-Men now rumored.
So is that like Nightcrawler from like
Alan Cummings?
Wow.
So I think this proves my theory right when we talk about the Marvels. So I do believe that they're going to bring back the original cast,
like the Incredible Nightcrawler.
The original X1 through 3 cast, but send them off in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to necessarily be killed. I mean, their whole dimension could be destroyed and then they would die anyway. But like, they don't have to be killed. They could be dusted. If like dimension gets destroyed, they could be dusted, zapped. Like, they don't have to like bloody die or like be killed kind of thing. You know what I mean? But who knows? I mean, I'm okay with that. I would like Alan Cummings to come back.
I just want to see him for a second.
Yeah. If it's a cameo, yeah, like
that'd be cool. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I want to catch it, but I'm fine with that.
A weird thing that came up, and we normally don't talk about these kind of things, but the Office co-creator has already announced that there's a spinoff coming, and that a new show is starting, and it's gonna be more of a spinoff than a full reboot. So a lot of people thought it was gonna be a full reboot because the original was a reboot of the UK version,
right?
So this one's gonna be a spinoff, which means they might bring on different actors, which means other actors have probably said they would come back, which means they might have them cameo. Kind of like, unfortunately, like Fuller House and iCarly.
I don't like
stuff
that.
like that.
I kind of don't like it. I really don't like it.
The only way I would like it is if it's now. Like, it can't be
like back
then. It needs to be The Office with the
technology
of now.
And...
Yeah, like now. That's what I need.
I don't think I'm gonna like it. I know I'm not gonna like it.
I would take a take a season with all the cameos just for the fuck of it, and then that's it.
From personal perspective,
we know Daryl will show up.
Daryl, From personal perspective, like a lot of the reboots are like okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want something new. I've been liking the new stuff.
That. Yeah.
So like I appreciate that.
So the other thing, we have real quick, Danny Devito is set to return as Phil in live action Hercules. Mm-hmm. So
that's exciting.
That's hilarious. That's great. It's
pretty good.
Aged into the role.
He really did.
Yeah. So that will be fun. And then lastly, on the rumors, this is the biggest thing that has just come out today. Pedro Pascal has been announced, or at least rumored to be announced as the next Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movies.
What do you think?
Along with there is a couple.
Just had it.
No, there's a couple others that are in it as well. Vanessa Kirby is rumored to play Sue Storm. Okay. And we have, I forget his name, I'm sorry, the actor's name, but the guy that played Eddie in Stranger Things is going to be playing Human Torch. And then I also forget, he's from Bear, but the one that's playing Ben Grimm. So this is apparently supposed to get announced by Marvel soon. Like, very soon.
Okay.
How do you feel about Pedro Pascal, dude?
I was going to ask you first.
Okay, so, like, I want John Krasinski. I want him
so bad.
But This is a good alternative.
Is it? Because, like, think about it. Like, are we just going for, like, a standard money grab? Like, we're talking about Last of Us, Mandalorian,
Wait a minute. Let's back up
like,
though. He has all this going, yes. But this just means one thing.
Game of Thrones.
He will just never, ever, 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 ever again take off his helmet in anything Mando from now on. Because he's already admitted, I've done voice work legit the entire time except for that one scene you saw me in. So he doesn't need. That's not a filming commitment. That's a voice acting commitment.
That's fine.
You could
That's
do that.
still acting, and that doesn't answer my question. The question is,
how is he? Is
Marvel just fucking nailing Pedro because of the popularity that he's gotten?
Yeah, they can add another page to the contract. He's already with Disney. Mando.
That's kind of annoying, though. Why not pull in somebody that's?
I don't think it's annoying because let's look at it this way.
Something better.
No,
something possibly better.
Let's look at it this way. Let's look at some of the more successful actors because I'm not going to include Chris Pratt in this because Chris Pratt is a little bit different because he was relatively not liked and like unknown unless you watched Parks and Rec, so you didn't really know him. But RDJ, infamous or famous, whatever you want to consider it, when he was cast. Chris Evans, Paul Rudd, all these bigger names. I don't know if Chris Hemsworth was big before he got into Thor, but Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury, like they put in Scarlett Johansson, like they put in a lot of bigger names.
Right.
So why are we so torn up about it now when they've been doing this since the beginning?
I don't think we're so torn up about it. I just think that if you think about it, like we have Mr. Fantastic, John Krasinski.
There you go.
Okay. Just got ripped apart in spaghetti.
Yeah.
In some sort of multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Why not pull in a new actor that's trying his best to fill in that role versus, just writing another page to this contract that, Pedro's already added to?
I can answer that because Disney likes money.
Well, that's
why
stupid.
would
that's
they?
Such a fucking stupid. Then why like it? Just Disney likes money. Okay, so let's just pay money to this company.
It's not like Pedro can't do the performance.
I know he can do it.
And the thing is
Pedro.
And as of right now, if he jumps into it, yeah, like he is a bigger star right now. But I don't know of anyone else that can do range. And also, since it's such a big movie, especially if they're going to change from Kang to Doctor Doom, which has been a lot of rumors. That means Doctor Doom has to be introduced into the Fantastic Four movie, which means that has to do well because they can't afford another mishap again on their villain for Secret Wars. So if they are doing this retool, you got to put in the big, like Eddie from Stranger Things.
You have to put in big actors.
A guy from Bear, Vanessa Kirby from the Fast movies. You're bringing in all these people that are big, but not too big. Because Pedro's big, but he's big on TV technically. Because Last of Us and Mando are TV things. But the
Pedro's
last movie,
pretty fucking big.
No, I know that. But the last movie he's been in is The Incredible Talent, Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage.
Which is
but the people that don't have streaming have seen him, but that doesn't mean they don't know what he can do.
I think nowadays after like COVID, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I think after COVID, streaming is now mainstream. Like if you're making money off of just being on streaming services,
I would say that, but Disney Plus has been plummeting because they already released their numbers from last year to the year prior during COVID, and they gained from like nothing 4.4 million subscribers, and in the last year they've only done 500,000 in a year, when in 1 year they did 4 million.
Okay.
So like that's a really big dip in number. You lost 75% of your audience that has been new subscribers. So it's like, yeah, your people stayed, but whatever your marketing strategy is, obviously is not working. So they're going to push more on the marketing strategy.
So they just lean on Pedro?
Whether it be Pedro or...
And that's it.
No, you have your other big Marvel stars too. You have Tom Hiddleston. You have Chris Hemsworth. Like, you have all... Look at Chris Hemsworth on National Geographic. Like, Disney has been pushing their Marvel stars to do...
a lot.
Like, nature
They're
shows.
just extending their contracts, which is fine.
That's the thing. Yeah, if you work for Disney, you're owned by Disney.
Which is kind of unfortunate. But... That's just your job.
I think it's unfortunate, but if you notice the people that have stayed on with Disney are the people that have like families, like Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, like people that like he's about to welcome in a newborn, and Chris has I think like 3 kids, and so does Chris Pratt, like, has kids. So, like, for them, like, staying on these things is
So
paying
if
for their
you
college
are
fund.
getting paid by Disney, do not have kids.
No, it's saying that the parents stay on longer in these projects because I'm pretty sure it's for, like, future college funds and, like, things that their kids can
Right.
get.
And that's good for the
The ones
parent.
that
They're doing their
aren't,
best. They're
yeah.
doing what they need to do. But
Yeah.
like still, I just think in terms of
That's why Ben Affleck left and then
casting-
came back, because
because he needs money.
dump trunk of money.
Right.
Same with Michael Keaton.
But I still think that Disney could have like casted somebody else, or at least try to, for Mr. Fantastic.
But the thing
I
is,
just think they're leaning a lot on Pedro, and eventually it's gonna
no,
run out.
they are leaning on that, and I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is, from a business standpoint, Disney's looking at The Flash. That technically wasn't a box office bomb. It was critically not recepted well, but people still bought tickets because Michael Keaton Batman, because Ezra was not the reason people
Ezra
went
sucked.
there.
Yeah.
So they knew
He didn't save the movie,
big face cameo makes money.
which sucks.
It does suck, but unfortunately, there's nothing that us, as the little people that we are, can say anything about that. Like, these big corporations are going to push. So, like, should they give an unknown actor a chance? Yes. Are we too far into?
Second-rate actor.
Are we too far into the MCU to take that risk? Also, yes. Because right now, even with those big names, Marvel has not been doing good. So they need to really step it up. Like, Guardians was the only, and No Way Home were the
Right.
only two movies, and even No Way Home was shared with
Can we
Sony.
talk about- how much time do we have?
We have a lot of time, but before we get to what you're
Okay.
saying, here is a word from our sponsor. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist in their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off at your first month at betterhelp.com/nerdlocker, and that's BETTERHELP.com/nerdlocker. And we have also linked them down below in the description. And we're back.
Oh, I was gonna say something in between cuts, but okay. Just to step into that by the standard on how like Disney's doing, I want to touch back on Miss Marvels, or is it Miss Marvels?
The Marvels.
The Marvels. I have a lot of people that are like hashing me back, saying that it was good. I got links sent to me saying like, "Hey, people are saying this movie's good," and I severely disagree with them because they're sending me clips that are not good. What do you think about that?
So I think The Marvels was definitely a movie that like sways you either way. I think you either really, really like it or you really, really hate it. There's really no in between unless you have, like, at least as a casual moviegoer. As someone that has comic knowledge, there's specific things I like about it and there's specific things I don't. And unfortunately, and I say unfortunately with the fact of overall the movie's not good. But unfortunately, the good parts of the movie do outweigh the bad. That doesn't make the overall thing, like the bad was just big enough to overcome the good. But quantity wise, there was more good than there was bad in this movie. And I say that because the visual effects were great. The
Right.
music was great. The acting was great.
I thought the acting was okay.
I loved what Brie Larson did in comparison of
Brie Larson did good improvement.
And
just
I
thought
love the girl that
collectively-
plays
I'm
Miss
talking
Marvel.
collectively.
No, I didn't mind that.
I don't know.
I don't think it was their acting. I think it was the cuts, the jump cuts and everything between them.
We don't know that for sure.
Yeah, we do, because I watched the whole movie where you left, and there, like, if you watch that
Okay,
scene,
I
where
didn't
they're-
leave for that long, guys.
No, I know that, but the teleport scene
Just went to get food.
shows you exactly how the filming went,
Okay.
because that shows you like, oh, there was literally only one person in the shot. The thing is we don't get a lot of them all together. That's why you didn't feel anything about it,
Okay.
because you never see them really all together, except for like a couple of scenes, and most of them are CGI'd scenes. So you're not really seeing those actors
Like coincide. with each
coincide,
other.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you didn't like them as a unit, because you never got to see them as a unit. It's like with Jared Leto Joker. People are judging it even though they didn't get to see it.
Mhm.
So it's like the same thing. If you can tell me like, oh, well, if you can give Jared Leto a chance, like he could probably do better. It's the same for this. Like if we actually saw them interact more, I think the movie would have been better, but they were trying too quickly to get to the post-credit scene, I think. They were really just trying to get to that dimension shit because they did not give the villain, like, the thing is the villain barely had any time alone.
Barely, don't even know the villain.
Like, yeah, like you didn't get any time alone with her. Like you did other ones. Like even
it was
Ronan,
weird.
you got
even
to
in,
see
I was gonna say even in Ronan, like you got some time with Ronan, him talking to Thanos and stuff.
Yeah, so like all of this stuff, like you don't get all that backstory. So that was the big difference with this movie compared to others. So that's why I say I agree and don't agree, because it's like you either really like it, which means you get hooked quickly by the comedy and the wholeheartedness that the first like third of the movie has. That middle act is where shit goes real like it fucks up a lot of things, and then the end's good. I think like the middle is where people make their judgments, because if you take the beginning and end, like I said, we make that a Marvel special presentation and cut out that middleman legitimately and just have all three of them meet, and that still happens. You don't have to have a villain causing that. It could just be them. Now that she got the bangles, like it should just happen now. It wasn't the fact that it didn't happen before was because she didn't have it before. Now in this current time, I have the bangle. Now we're switching. We all have the same kind of powers, but the bangle is what did it. They could have done the whole thing just figuring out where the second bangle is, finding that, and maybe then running into a villain that already maybe had it. If you're gonna shoo it away, the villain, have them meet them halfway through the movie.
Kangs.
Like, don't introduce them in the beginning if we're not going to see them again until halfway. You just introduce them halfway and get rid of them. Like, that's the thing. Like, they spent...
Just kind of a mess.
The editing ruined the movie. And I hate to say this because I think the editors are doing a great job. Like, they are doing hard work and hours, and they're probably not getting paid enough. But regardless, this movie should not have been approved to be released in the way that it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing with it. I really, really hope that when it gets released onto Blu-ray, that we get either an extended cut or deleted scenes.
It could be.
That could probably make the movie a little bit more. Because you can definitely tell they cut out a lot. Like, that is abundantly clear. Because it's one of the shortest Marvel movies.
Right. We
all know they didn't just film an hour 45. They probably filmed 2.5 hours and realized, oh, that's not very good. Maybe we got to cut out some stuff. And they just cut out I feel like there was probably more to that villain than we saw it all. Like, we never saw her interact with anybody.
I barely remember the villains
except the heroes for the most part. I think there was one scene she had with someone else. But like, dude, I need to care about her.
That was nuts.
Like, I've cared about most of your other villains before. The only reason I cared about Kang was because he was already introduced in Loki. But if that wasn't the case,
I'm not even joking. I don't know her name.
Darbin.
Really?
Yeah.
Insane.
So
They don't exist to me.
Din Djarin, remember?
Yeah, Din Djarin. Oh, okay. Now it actually kind of rings.
So,
man, I can't believe how addicting Cinnamon Toast Crunch is.
Right?
What are you wearing?
A shirt?
You're into scary movies, right?
Kinda.
I see it. Anyway, there's a sick brand that I know of. They make a bunch of like horror-esque type of. Here, I tell you what. Let me just. Better.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
You know who makes that?
Who?
Seventh Ink.
Really?
All artwork, original.
Whoa, that's
you got little bats on you.
But what about you?
What about me?
Oh. But what about your mask? Oh. Well,
Get off the dipshit.
I mean, these shirts are awesome though. Like, they're really comfortable. They fit nice. Like,
Honestly,
this is great.
One at you. This is pretty lightweight. They don't shrink. And
Yeah.
it's just like, come on, just look at me.
This is great. You know what? Want to grab some popcorn and watch a scary movie?
What's your favorite scary movie? What the was that?
All right. Where can they find you, bud?
Next time is gonna be I'm gonna have to write some shit down.
You
You can
just
find
said-
me on the Sphere 21 on any social media platform except for TikTok. I am Oliver Kahn VA.
And you can find me at AMRA Photography. You can find the studio at Archangel Studios Official. And you can find this podcast at Nerd Locker Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.